The Jets need another wide receiver? I've got a plan. Yikes. Boy Green Daily starts now.
I'm gonna lose my gosh darn bananas. Boy Green Daily starts now. Zoinks!
Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily. Let's go!
Put your seatbelts on. Get ready for the ride. We're the freaking New York Jets, so we're built for this shit.
What's going on, everybody? I'm Paul Eston Jr., a.k.a. Boy Green. I'm the New York Jets digital reporter for Every.com. Welcome to Boy Green Daily, a daily New York Jets video show, also available wherever you get your podcast. Welcome to the final day of June. Before we get into the topic at hand, a full article in the YouTube description down below. Before we get there, it is the final day of June, which means our final opportunity for this giveaway, baby. A full zip-up New York Jets hoodie plus an original Jets Zone banner, which is, again, just a big-ass New York Jets banner you can throw up on your wall. Today is your final day to submit raffle tickets. If you want a chance to win either of those prizes, all you have to do is by the end of business today, spend $2.99 on the channel. You can join the Boy Green Coffee Club. That's a pinned comment on youtube.com/boygreen25. You can gift Boy Green Coffee Club memberships. Those are $2.99 a pop, so each one gives you another raffle ticket. Or send in your super chats, questions, or comments. That's also another way to do it. And before the end of the show, I'll let you guys know all the people who have submitted $2 super chats or dollar super chats that just need to spend a little bit more money to get those raffle tickets to count. But let's put all that aside for a moment because the New York Jets need a wide receiver. And folks, I've got a plan. Yes. Okay. I started looking around the league, and there is a wide receiver that I've identified that would make a ton of sense. Okay. If this new regime wants to make a splash, this is the move to make a splash. DJ Moore, Chicago Bears wide receiver. He's in the middle of his $110 million contract, and here are some notes and quotes. Okay. This all got sparked because I was reading a column from ESPN NFL insider Jeremy Fowler. In his column, he asked openly, would the Chicago Bears part with DJ Moore after drafting Rome Odunze and Luther Burden III in back-to-back drafts? And Jeremy Fowler was opening up this can of worms potentially for the Pittsburgh Steelers to take advantage after they traded away George Pickens. But I think the Jets are the ones that should be jumping in on this particular situation. And Jeremy Fowler seemed to speculate that the potential trade cost could be a third-round draft choice. Now, that doesn't seem to make any sense, candidly, because a third-round pick seems too inexpensive. But here's the fact of the matter. The Jets don't even have a friggin' third-round pick next year because of the Hassan Reddick trade. So they'd have to do one of two things, or maybe a combination. They'd either have to give up a third in a draft a year later in 2027, or overpay, which would be a second rounder in 2026. And boy, I'll tell you this. I know that's our future. That's our future. But I'd be fascinated, and I'd be curious. I'd be willing to spend a second rounder if we could find a way to get ourselves on DJ Moore. And here is the attractive nature here of DJ bleeping Moore, people. He already knows Justin Fields. He already knows this guy. That's our QB1. It makes it easy peasy lemon squeezy, baby, to go get this guy because there's already a chemistry there. Already a chemistry. In Chi-Town, in the Windy City, DJ Moore has stepped up this game. He started his career with the Carolina Panthers, spent the first 5 years there, and he was solid. He was aight. Okay, you have 364 catches, 5,200 yards, 21 touchdowns. Okay, 80 games, 73 starts. DJ Moore was looking okay. He was looking pretty good. And then he was traded to the Chicago Bears, and then the statistics made a significant leap. In 2 years, 194 catches, 2,300 yards, 15 total touchdowns. But in Moore's first season with the Windy City in 2023, he set new career highs in receptions, 96, receiving yards, 1,364, and touchdowns, 9 total. Who was his quarterback? Justin Fields. Coincidence? I think not. So getting these two together Could be spicy. Okay? We've been talking about all kinds of possibilities for the Jets. Keenan Allen, maybe it's this, Amari Cooper, this guy. DJ Moore's still only 28 years of age. He's already got a chemistry with friggin' Justin Fields. You have Justin Fields. You have Garrett Wilson. You have DJ Moore. All of a sudden, we're cooking, baby. We're cooking. That's what I'm talking about. We get a little frisky. I think that's the play if you're the Jets. That's what I'm talking about. I've been staying up late at night, burning the midnight oil. Burning the midnight oil. So I'm trying to crack the code on who is the right wide receiver to potentially, work on here as the guy. And what could be the right move? Aced Up 10, a.k.a. Arthur Sochka, sending in a $9.99 YouTube Super Chat. And every time we get a Super Chat here on the channel, well, we play this.
Thank you for that. The Super Chat. You could get lucky here on the Boy Green Show. This show is daily. It's in the morning. Be sure to stay tuned. Let's go, Jets.
Shout out to Gator. Aced Up 10, you now have 50 raffle tickets on the month based on your previous Super Chat combinations. That's what I'm talking about, Aced Up 10. He says, good morning, BG and the Coffee Club. Shout out to the Coffee Club. Turn up now. And also, the last day of June means we're getting a little bit closer to New York Jets football, baby. Remember, 19 days until, if you want to count today or not, that's up to you. But July 19th is when the Jets rookies report. July 22nd is when the Jets veterans report. Training camp is right around the corner. People, we're just about 3 weeks away. About 3 weeks. A little less than that. So we can power through this. As we're powering through this, I'm telling you, DJ Wicka Moore. Thank you, Aced Up 10, for the Super Chat, baby. And again, you get an even 50 piece on the super raffle tickets, excuse me. That's what I'm telling you. What's the cost, Hep-ass? Again, Jeremy Fowler in his ESPN piece was sort of suggesting that Pittsburgh could give up one of their third rounders. I guess they have a couple. And I went, oh, a third rounder? Like, is that it? And then I'm like, that doesn't seem right. Like, it probably is more expensive. I don't think it's a first, maybe a second. And if it's a second, the Jets have a second available next year. They sure do. In the 2026 draft. And you get DJ Moore opposite of Garrett Wilson. Booyah. There's your star receiver that's got chemistry away with Justin Fields. That's the move. And he's already signed long term. And then you pay Garrett Wilson. Make sure you secure the bag. And then booyah. Let's go. Yeah. Mark Sachetti here says, Boy Green, this is a non-starter trade. He's too expensive and not worth the future pick. He's smoking the ganja, Beachy? Hey. I don't judge, man. Whoever smokes the ganja out in the universe, different strokes, different folks. Different strokes, different folks. But come on, man. I know he's expensive, but he's the right guy. Evaluate the league. Look at every receiver. I looked at every depth chart in the league. I'm going through, and I just got like a little, no, not him. Maybe. No, not him. And then I'm just going through like a scroll. And then I saw DJ Moore. And then it was love at first sight. Our eyes met. And I'm like, DJ Moore. And it just an epiphany. Bing! I was like, DJ Moore, he's the guy. That's the move we got to make, guys. I know I'm going a little higher register here, but DJ Moore, I'm telling you, that's the guy. You're going to make a splash. Everyone, in the movie Draft Day, right? The Cleveland Browns owner. He says, everyone likes to get wet, Sonny. He's talking to Sonny Weaver Jr., of course, the head coach of the Cleveland Browns. Everyone likes to get wet. Make a splash, Sonny. Make a splash. And this is the right kind of splash. Some splashes are not worth making. This is the right splash. David Hall Jr. says, we have Joe Douglas to thank for us not having that third. We should have just paid Huff. That's probably true. But, again, in the moment, the trade made a lot of sense of getting a hired mercenary. But not figuring out the contract situation obviously came back to bite us immediately in the tuchus. That's true. Jay Boy says, get some sleep and think about it again. I could. I'll tell you, I didn't write this piece last night. It was from a couple weeks ago. I wanted to unleash it at the right time. Shout out to Ted here. We are NY Jets FL, Boy Green Coffee Club member. Thank you very much. 66 days until the first game. Can't wait. Thursday night. Cowboys, Eagles. How about them Cowboys and fly, Eagles, fly? Should be interesting. Scotty Mayhem, Boy Green Coffee Club member, says, dumb idea for Jets to trade unnecessary. Get Keenan Allen, no giving up second-round picks. You know, there's a phrase, Scotty, in the back of the playbook that says you get what you pay for. And Keenan remains available. I'm not saying he's completely useless or anything of that nature, but DJ Moore, superior to one Keenan Allen. Keenan Allen's body is aging, and he's getting old. DJ Moore still young and vibrant. You know, if I had to make a choice, I'm telling you, I think it's DJ. I think it's DJ. All right. Yes, sir. Let's keep going down here in the comment section. Scotty Mayhem says, we talked about paying $15 million for Quincy. Yeah, I think at least. I think Quincy probably wants more than that. But continue, Scotty. Complaining, please. Two $30+ million wide receivers. Come on, craziness. I don't think DJ Moore's making 30+, but let me check the highest paid wide receivers real quick of the league. Wide receivers NFL over the cap. Shout out. Okay, let me see. Where's a DJ Moore on this list? All right. Yeah, he's making 27.5, so not 30 million. So no, there are plenty of people. If you pull up the list of the highest paid wide receivers in football, I don't want to say plenty. That's over exaggerating. But there are teams that pay two receivers a lot of money. The Bengals are paying Jamar Chase $40.25 million. T. Higgins getting $28.75 million. So that's even more than DJ Moore, right? Both guys are making more than DJ Moore. So there's on the list. Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, $30 million and $28.25. Again, two receivers making moolah. Eagles, A.J. Brown, $32 million. Devontae Smith, $25 million. They're two of like the top 11 highest paid receivers. So the Bengals are doing it. The Eagles are doing it. So Bengals, Eagles, who's the other team? Because I'm an idiot and can't remember. Dolphins, Bengals, Eagles, Dolphins. Those teams are all doing it. All the cool kids are doing it. Why can't we, Scotty Mayhem? Why can't we? And you want to know something? If I'm going to overindulge, why not at wide receiver to help my quarterback out? So if I'm going to go aggressive at a position, wide receiver, which I wouldn't even know if that is going aggressive in the nature that we question the depth. But if you are going to overindulge at a spot, why wouldn't it be wide receiver where it directly benefits your quarterback? That's what I'm talking about, people. Come on, the rest of the class on page 42. You have nearly 300 people in the room. Like the video, hit subscribe on the YouTube. Shout out to the people who watch live or after the fact. Much appreciated. Much appreciated. Ricky New York Live says, BG, I'd rather have Justin Fields turn out to be the guy that we can use next year's first on another Ohio State Buckeye, Carnell Tate, wide receiver 1 of the 2026 draft. Ooh, okay. I'm all for adding the Buckeyes. Those guys have been pretty good at the NFL level, that's for sure. All right, Ricky, I'll have to keep an eye on that. Number 1 wide receiver next year. Interesting. Alon says the Jets, under this general manager, Darren Mochi, will not pay 2 off-ball linebackers $15+ million. Jets will get that third for Quincy closer to deadline. If we could get a third for Quincy at the deadline, that would be a great move for the New York Jets because I don't think he's coming back, although there were some compelling cases made by certain individuals yesterday, a.k.a. Ricky, who made a compelling case on why that should happen. Stephen Fox here. Please smash the like button, subscribe, hit the reminder bell, and subscribe to the fantastic Man Shot Show with Boy Green Digital live this weekend. Yes, folks, My radio show, for those who missed it, ended on Friday. After 23 years on the air, I was a part of it for 10 years as an intern, then producer, then co-host, etc., etc. But so the radio version ended on Friday, but the digital version starts in full flower today, folks. I will be live with my I was going to call him radio partner. I guess I got to work in digital partner now, but we'll work on that terminology. But 11 o'clock today, the Man Chow Show Boy Green Digital launches. I hope you guys can stay tuned in for that. Again, I'll just be live more often, and more content will be coming. So I'll be live with my partner, digital partner, at 11 o'clock. We'll be live both on this channel and the Man Chow Show Boy Green Digital. For a while, we're going to be live on both channels. Maybe forever we'll be live on both channels. I'm not sure, but please make sure you guys subscribe over there, because not every piece of content that happens over there is happening over here. So this is really an introduction to get you guys to check out the new channel. So hopefully you guys can enjoy it. It's going to be weird. I'm not going to the radio station today because there's, first off, no Syracuse Mets baseball games on Mondays, and no radio show. So it's all digital now. Hopefully you guys can check it out. So that live link is already up. Make sure you guys check it. Alon, interesting Keenan Allen projection. He thinks Keenan winds back up in L.A. I could definitely see L.A., the Chargers. I could see the Chiefs. That could definitely make sense closer to training camp. I'm trying to think of another team off the top of my dome. I don't know. Yeah, those are two good guesses for now. Yeah, where the hell is Jadeveon Clowney? Come on, man. That's my boy. Scotty says, when you open up the phone lines, I'll call and explain, Mr. BG. All right. Phone lines will be open. Oh, it's my boy, Danny. What's up, Danny? Bengals and Dolphins didn't make the playoffs last year. That's true, but the Eagles won the Super Bowl. So that plan worked. Bengals had one of the most explosive offenses last year, and their defense being god-awful is why they didn't make it. Now, the Dolphins, well, that's a different story entirely. But, hey, the Eagles' strategy won the Super Bowl. People could say, well, they ran the ball, they did this. Don't give me any of that hoopla. Okay? They're paying two of their guys top money, and it worked. So, if it works, it's a copycat league. I'm just saying. Back to Mark Sacchetti. Don't you think they're going to scour the waiver wires? Absolutely. Yeah. But that's going to come in time. The waiver wires are inactive at this point. We're probably a month and a half away from the waiver wires really starting to get moving and grooving. We don't have the waves anymore. Remember, when the rosters were at 90, so they're at 90. Technically, the Jets have 91. Shout out to Leander Wiegand of the NFL Pathway program from Germany. So Jets have a roster exemption, so they have 91 players. But the rest of the league that does not have that same roster exemption, they're at 90 players. And normally in the past, there'd be waves. Okay, you're at 90 right now, but by August 5th, you got to go from 90 to 75. From this point, you got to go from 75 to this number. And they forcibly had you cut them. But now the bloodletting has no specific date outside of you cutting from 90 to 53 is on this specific date. It's in late August after all the preseason games are all wrapped up. And then, so you can wait all the way till then and cut like 40 guys all at once, or you can cut them of your own accord whenever you're like, yeah, we're done with this guy or this guy or this guy. So, do I believe the Jets are going to scour the waiver wires? Absolutely. And hey, man, those waiver wires can often bring you talent. Quincy Williams was a waiver wire addition by the Jets when the Jacksonville Jaguars cut his ass. John Franklin Myers, waiver wire addition. Braxton Berrios, waiver wire addition. So there's all kinds of waiver wire success stories with the Jets, and I fully anticipate the NYJ exploring all those options. Yes, good thought, Mark. Hep says, we're not winning the Super Bowl, so sit tight, get a wideout next year on a cheaper deal. Whoa, Hep. I've heard the song, pal.
Boy green daily, boy green daily, boy green daily. Talking just football, man. Boy green daily, boy green daily, boy green daily. The New York Jets Football Club. Wow. Offense, defense, special teams. Watch the Super Bowl season with Boy Green Jay.
Super Bowl season, Hep. You said that. Don't be a liar. You said it. Super Bowl season. I believed you. This is our year. Come on, man. This is our year for sure. Totally. Justin Fields is the guy. What do you mean, Hep? We're winning the Super Bowl this year. What do you mean we're not winning the Super Bowl? What new information do you have to present? I'm tearing up, for goodness sake. We're not winning the Super Bowl. What in the world? Come on now. Hep. Unbelievable. I heard the song, man. I listen to that every night before I go to bed. Watch the Super Bowl season with Boy Green. I'm Boy Green, and you guys are the we. It's a team. We're a team. But anywho, Indy Jets, BG, I disagree with you. I'd rather trade for Myles Garrett if we're going to make a big splash. When the hell did Myles Garrett become available? And he just signed a big, crazy deal. He's not going anywhere. As much as I like Myles Garrett and the pass rushers, like, what? He just got paid. He ain't getting traded anymore. FL Phil 98. BG, you can't, quote, give the bag to everyone. You say that all the time. I don't remember how many times I've said that. I'm not sure. I don't know how many times I've said that. Someone's going to have to check the record. Yeah, hey, it's not my money. I'm willing to give all kinds of bags to people, apparently. So you sure what's not your money? Yeah. Scotty Mayhem with a new update. Okay, let's go to it. We have an update here. Hey now. Just in, Scotty Mayhem is sending another message to Keenan Allen's agents. You guys are making my head hurt. I assume that last part of the message was for me. Maybe neither here nor there. All right, Scotty Mayhem once again reaching out to Keenan Allen's agents. Excellent. Perhaps a development happening there. We'll keep you guys posted. Yes. Alon, BG, your trip to Pittsburgh gave great luck to the Mets. That was hilarious this weekend. I can't believe that actually happened. That is sort of bizarre, Alon. But that did happen, apparently. So I'm sure Jim the Man-Child Lurch will be quite pleased to talk about that coming up at 11 o'clock. James Caffiero says, Boy Green Coffee Club member, thank you very much. If Justin Fields doesn't work out, we need number 2 to trade up. Here's the thing I do want to talk about that. James and the Giant Peach, you're not wrong with having assets to be able to move and groove, right? Your thought makes a lot of sense on paper. But here's the thing I also don't get, right? Take a step back. So the Pittsburgh Steelers, our opponent week 1, season opener, all that jazz. Their plan is Aaron Rodgers, right? And they're going to do whatever they want. And I know you guys don't care about Aaron Rodgers anymore, but I just want to bring this up for a second. So their plan is to try to win it all with Aaron Rodgers this year. And they've had a winning season every year since 2007, I think, when Tomlin took over after Cowher. And long story short, so they don't have a bad pick in the draft, so they don't have a good pick in the draft, right? I said that very confusing. They're always really good, so they're never picking in the top 10. Let me just put it bluntly, right? But the Steelers people tell me, whoa, that's all right. We're just going to trade up. We're just going to give up a bunch of picks. Folks, it takes 2 to tango, okay? We or they or anyone else can want to trade up, but if this quarterback class, as good as everyone says it is, then you would need the right team that already has their quarterback to suck and be willing to trade that pick. And how likely is that? The shitty teams in the league all don't have quarterbacks. Coincidence? I think not. So as I pull up the standings here of teams that don't have quarterbacks, they're terrible. The teams that have quarterbacks are either going to be halfway decent or good or great. So I get in theory what you're saying, James, of having assets to be able to launch up, to trade up. Well, what if a team's like, hey, screw you, pal. The Jets are picking 15th. I don't know. Wait, we're picking first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth. We're going to trade with you, Jets, at 15. You're too far back. I think it's going to prove a long story short. What I use that to say, James, is I think it's going to be a lot more difficult for teams to trade up than people are saying. People are like, oh, we're just going to trade up. We're just going to trade up. We're going to trade everywhere. Trades. Okay. Sounds great. But who you trading with? Who are you trading with? That's what I want to know. Come on, man. No one wants to trade up. But who's trading back? My question. Stephen Fox has accused Hep of turning to the dark side of the Force. Well, there could be something to that. Mike Rubino says, I still always sing the original lyrics, as do I. I don't give it any new changes. It's always the Super Bowl season with Boy Green. That's the OG original, baby. I assume that's the one Hap's going to play at the Boy Green tailgate, Jets Cowboys, Sunday, October 5th, week 5. Hep says JF7, I believe, is the guy, a.k.a. Justin Fields. AG, a.k.a. Aaron Glenn, just needs a little bit of time. Marination. Okay, there you go. All right, so marination, that's possible. Sure. All right. Morning for Lily and Big D here in the chat. Member of the Boy Green Cafe Club. Thank you very much. Okay. Ooh, another wide receiver possibility. JACK, a.k.a. Jack. Trade for Jordan Addison. All right, if the Vikings are willing to get a little skippy, I'm in on Jordan Addison. He's a talented guy. Probably should have drafted him a couple of years ago. Sure. Philium, back up. It's not your money. It's about the cap. Yes, the cap is a beautiful enigma with all kinds of twists and turns, and it's not possible to pay everyone. That's true. But the Eagles have found some very creative ways to keep all their guys, all the main ones anyway, the main characters in the story. I'd like to take a page from that playbook if I may. Sure would. Hep asked, Paul, how's the knee? Well, thankfully, I'm sort of powering through. It's just sore, so hopefully it's a minimal thing. Oh, I won't see the doctor after all. So, good. I don't know how many football games I'll be running around playing. The real test will be as I'm looking at the immediate future, getting back into the Taekwondo. If I'm like throwing that thing around, I'm gonna know pretty immediately if there's some issues there. So we'll trust the leg and hope for the best. Yeah. But thanks, Hep, for the worries and the concerns. Thank you very much. Jackie heard that a little bit. Oh, Seinfeld. Oh, you got a little bit of that. Nice. Okay. Yes. I appreciate you appreciating that. Nice. Yeah. Yeah, get some of that in. Let's go to Foxy, the Silver Fox, Stephen Fox. What does the Fox say? Well, in this particular case, BG, do you think the Jets will cave and give Mason Taylor a guaranteed contract? Yes, that appears to be the holdup, is that Carson Schwessinger and another second-round pick's name that's immediately escaping me. At the top of the first two picks of the second round, both got fully guaranteed deals from their respective teams. The rest of the second-rounders are like, the heck? Well, we want some of that action. And those other teams are like, well, just because those teams are idiots doesn't mean we're going to do that. So Muji doesn't seem like the caving type, although, to be honest, we're very early on in our relationship. It's hard to make those sort of grandiose statements. But no, I don't believe they cave in that way. But maybe, as is with anything in life, there's compromise. And maybe there will be that, Stephen Fox. Thank you for the comment on YouTube. All right, I keep forgetting that NY Jets FL, a.k.a. Ted, is a Cade Klubnik guy. Cade Klubnik for moi on YouTube. There you go. There's another possibility. Alon. Garrett Nussmeier for moi. Oh, you guys all have your own guys. I respect it. J-Boy says, jumping spinning kick. You can do it, believe. Yeah, that's basically what I'm going to do. I'm going to go to Taekwondo whenever that is. Hopefully it's here in the very near future. My schedule just opened up. LOL, send. My schedule did just open up, so just going to Taekwondo and just warming up, making sure you're limber, and then just sort of unloading on the bag and seeing if I have all my same power that I normally have. That'll be a good telltale sign. Yeah, do some crazy crap and see where it goes. Beautiful. All right, let's do this, baby. You guys have been vibrant in the chat, quite vibrant. Let's open up the phone lines and see what else you guys have to say. Again, if you're just joining us, we have 400 people in the room. Like the video, hit subscribe on YouTube. It is the final day of June. So just like Aced Up 10 did earlier, get your raffle tickets in. And speaking of, let me give a quick update for anyone that gave any partial part of money. MFC, you gave $1, so you're $2 away from a raffle ticket. This money does not roll over to the next month, so people make sure you take advantage. I'll give you guys, everyone who's given any amount of money that has not resulted in a raffle ticket, which is just leftover money. So hopefully you guys can spend the prerequisite amount of money so you guys can get more raffle tickets. MFC, you're $2 away from a raffle ticket. For Lily and Big D, $2 away from a raffle ticket. Badshaw, Badshaw, you're $1 away from another raffle ticket. Take Flight Eric, $1 away from another raffle ticket. Indy Jets, $2 away. Booby, $2 away. OG Jets Fan 1985, $2 away. Chef Kevin Gilbert, aka Fastest Food Reviews, $2 away. Jorge Perez, $2. All right, Stephen Fox, Foxy, you're $1 away, my friend. Number one Austrian Jet fan, he's $2 away. Scotty Mayhem, $2 away. Julian Mann, $1 away. Jake Asman, $1 away. Ace of Spade, $1 away. Meadowland Swamp Thing, $2 away. Sharon McLean, $2 away. Joey Matesic, $2 away. And Phil, you're $1 away. Those are all the people that have leftover moolah. Make sure you get that money in because, again, that does not roll over to the next time. So we'll open up the phone lines here in just a moment. But before we do that, folks, I love this. Nick Faria, baby. We've got a guest. He joins us at 8 o'clock. Check the time every Monday here on the program. He's our NFL reporter from Athlon Sports and Jets beat reporter for JetsXpected.com. Nick Faria. What's up, Nick?
How's everything going, Paul?
All right, Nick. We're going to be honest. The fans have not loved my idea so far, but you're my guy. You're of course going to support what I have to say to you. So here it is. I got a trade pitch for you, Nick. Are you ready? You're the GM of the Jets. Here we go. Or GM of, I don't know. We'll figure that part out later. You're the guy. Here's the pitch. Here's the plan. Okay. The Jets need a wide receiver, right, Nick? Huh?
Yeah.
Okay. They need a wide receiver. All right. I've been looking around the depth charts of ESPN, baby. I've been looking around the depth charts, and I'm like, no. And then suddenly, it's love at first sight. We lock eyes, and I'm like, this is the name that we've all been waiting for. DJ Moore, Chicago Bears. Already knows Justin Fields. Had a career season with Justin Fields in 2023. Career in catches, career high in yards. He's the guy. You pair him with Garrett Wilson. They already have a bunch of receivers over there. That Roma Dunze guy, Luther Burden III. So, receivers are falling off of trees over there. The Jets can help. Hey, we'll take him. Sure. Let's figure it out. DJ Moore, Garrett Wilson, Justin Fields, everybody reunited, and boom, let's go win the friggin' Super Bowl. Thoughts, Nick Faria?
So it would be a no-brainer for the Jets. Let's just answer that based on that alone. It would be a no-brainer for them. DJ Moore's the number one receiver. Makes a lot of sense in that regard.
Yes.
I guess my question would be for you, Paul.
Yeah.
Is he not the number one receiver in Chicago? I would venture to guess to say he is. I would,
Okay. All right. All right.
Why would Chicago part ways with their number one receiver when they have a first overall pick at quarterback going into his second year? There's the other part to this.
All right.
Okay. Justin Fields, if you look at the numbers, does not target the second and third options at receiver very often. In fact, you go back to his Chicago days, it was DJ Moore, it was the tight end, and then it was I'm going to run and scramble and do whatever I can to pick up a couple of yards. If you're putting DJ Moore on the field, does that take away from targets from Garrett Wilson? Essentially, to me, the Jets offense is not built for a two-receiver offense. And that may seem crazy to say, but if you just look at, Justin Fields' career in Pittsburgh and Chicago, he's not going to be targeting guys like Alan Lazard and Tyler Johnson, these kinds of players that are serviceable but not real number two receivers on any other team. So I look at it as, if you're going to bring in DJ Moore, you would probably want to do that when you have a young quarterback to roll with who can sort of read the field at an efficient pace. We haven't really seen Justin Fields do that yet. Not saying that he can't grow into that, but as things stand right now, it's just not New York's offense, and it's not going to be New York's offense because that's not who Fields is as a quarterback.
Well, Nick, you've brought a lot of logic and facts to the table. I didn't ask for any of those things. I asked you DJ Moore being there. Now, let me say this, right? So you said, hey, man, if you look at the numbers, right, Justin Fields is a guy that can be often described, and Bob Lederer just said that. He said he's a big Jet fan, wrote the book behind me. He's a big Jet fan. He said a lot of the same things. And one read guy, and then he books it, or he looks to the tight end, or other things before wide receiver 2. And past history could be a indicator of what is to come, or perhaps AG saying we're going to have him play the quarterback position, and the quarterback position normally looks at a wide receiver 2. So perhaps it's a hole in the game, and AG and Tanner Engstrand are going to unlock it, and then all of a sudden, boom. DJ Moore, boom, Garrett Wilson, and all of a sudden we're operating with a different offense.
Sure, I'm not going to sit here and say that Fields can't be a good quarterback. Of course he can. We have seen many young quarterbacks, many failed experiments at quarterback struggle to start, but then grow into competent signal callers. You look at Geno Smith, Sam Darnold's another example. The problem with Fields, in my opinion, is a processing thing. It takes too long for him to read defenses, takes too long for him to get the ball out and be decisive. When he is decisive, he can be pretty good, and we kind of saw that already. It's just it's one of those things where if you're buying into what Tanner Engstrand can do and what he did in Detroit, then yes, there's a chance that Justin Fields can be that kind of quarterback. But if you look at past history and the past experiences of what we've seen from Justin Fields, and we look at sort of the work that he's been able to put in during off-season workouts, is there a massive difference so far from what we've seen in Chicago to what we see now? I got to be honest, Paul, it's very similar. And maybe, there's that little decisiveness that helps. But as of right now, I see the same kind of quarterback. A little indecisive, a little bit too patient with the football, looks for Garrett, and if Garrett's not there, goes to the tight end. And if the tight end's not there, then book it out, make a couple of plays. So it's not to say that he can't grow into something more. It's that he hasn't shown the ability to do that. And it's one of those things where I say, if you're going all in at the quarterback position, you need to have the quarterback actually show out in some way, shape, or form. Having 1,000 yards as a running quarterback is not going to be the reason why I want to trade for a top receiver to pair with Garrett Wilson at this point.
All right, let me ask you. So you believe that there are some processing issues with Justin Fields. How, on a scale 1 to 10, how concerning is that for a quarterback, processing issues? 10 being really bad, 1 being not really that bad.
It comes down to a couple of different things. Now, in fairness to Fields,
sure,
he is learning a new offense, and he is with a bunch of new teammates. That takes time. That whole processing thing certainly will happen. It will take time for him to get to that point. So in a way, and I know a couple people on the Jets side have already kind of defended it with that argument, and I totally get it. Because it makes sense. If you're learning a new offense and you're with new teammates, it's going to take time for you to know where to go with the football on certain plays and certain schematical standpoints. That's all well and good. But it's not like we haven't seen that problem before. And that's where my concern is. If he was right, if he was a quarterback in Pittsburgh who was more decisive, more willing to throw the ball downfield and be more aggressive from the pocket, then we can look and say, well, his processing is a little bit slow. But we saw in Pittsburgh that it was more of just learning the new system and learning the new offense. That's not the case here. Every single year he's been in the league, he's had this issue. So while we can arguably say that it's fair that Fields will need time to develop, need time to learn this offense, it's also fair to point out that these are the same problems he's had throughout his career.
Nick, before the show, my computer had processing issues. I hit the restart button, and bing, boom, bam, it's operating like new. The Jets are the restart button. Processing issues, Gonzo. Huh?
Listen, if you look at all the history of the Jets quarterbacks and all the struggles that they've had, it certainly would make sense for the football gods to give them Justin Fields and say, this is now this is now your chance to be involved in the quarterback fixer-upper process. But it's going to take a little bit of time. I say, if he plays up to his potential at Ohio State, his potential as a first-round pick, the Jets can absolutely be a lot better than people expect. There are legitimate questions, though, and I think that's where training camp is going to be a big point. The preseason is going to be a big point. Joint practices will be key. All these things will need to figure out and determine how good Fields will be in 2025 and beyond.
Fair enough. We got a couple of super chats coming in. Stephen Foxy, baby. Every time I get a super chat, hear from my daughters, Ray Luna.
Wow.
We appreciate you. Thank you very much, Foxy. We are up to, let me make sure I have it here in my notes. You're up to 3 raffle tickets so far this month, pal. Appreciate it, Stephen Fox. Thank you very much. And I see we got another super chat coming in from For Lillian Big D. He wants us, wow, you got it, pal.
Wow.
Boom shakalaka. 38 raffle tickets for you, my friend. We appreciate you. If you have questions for Nick Faria, continue to send those in, whether super chats or more. We'll try to get to the super chat questions first here on the channel, if you guys do have those. Yeah, a lot of people have been wondering this one, Nick. Let me throw this one up here. This is from Tony Alexio. Nick, are there any updates on Malachi Corley? The Jets have been very, whatever the word is, cagey? Yeah, maybe cagey. Cagey for 500, Alex, is the one I'm looking for here with the undisclosed injury for Malachi. And, you can't, a famous coach once said, you can't make the club from the tub. So, Malachi Corley, what's the latest on the injury situation?
Nothing as of yet. Nothing's really been disclosed. The injury itself hasn't really been disclosed either. They haven't said what it actually is and how long he could potentially be out. All the Jets have essentially said is he hasn't been able to practice on the field, and just going through the process of learning the offense, learning to play with a new quarterback. So all of that's going to be taken into account. The big thing for him will be training camp. He is going to need to have a massive training camp to prove that he can be an NFL caliber receiver, number one, but also prove he's worthy of being on the Jets roster, because I think we're at a point right now where he is fighting for his time as a Jets player, not just, for someone to see the field in his first season. So he is going to need to produce in a major way during camp. No one really knows about the injury. I'm sure he'll be ready to go at the start of training camp. If something happens, obviously we'll report on that. But nothing really has been disclosed at this point.
Should the Jets, not disclosing this injury, should that be of grave concern or no? Because, the old regime, Saleh and injuries. Oh, I feel great. Oh, phenomenal. Oh, his leg exploded. Oh, Jesus. Oh, actually, it's awful. Oh, wait, he's made a miraculous recovery. He just stood up out of a wheelchair. Good Lord. So, fans and the team have sort of a fractured relationship here, Nick, on trust. Things are good, they're bad. Things are bad, they're good.
I don't think. Well, first off, they don't have to disclose any injury during OTAs and off-season workouts. So that's a big thing. We will figure out during training camp what exactly it was, what he's been dealing with, and how he's been able to recover from that, and moving forward onto the season. It's just one of those things. Everyone's starved for information right now. It's the dead period of the NFL season, where nothing goes on. So we're just clinging to any information that we can. I think this is something where people are going to have to be patient, though, wait a few more weeks to determine exactly what happened and if he can come back from something like this and be a dependable person in this offense.
Fair enough. Let's give a happy birthday to Travis Preheim out there in the comment section. Turns 53 today. Happy birthday to Travis. Now, you mentioned that we don't have a lot going on right now, Nick. So we're just sort of going over our notes. Now, The Athletic recently did a column where all of their beat reporters for every team shared their one key observation from everything they've seen thus far. And obviously that's OTAs, mandatory minicamp, all that jazz, everything that's happened, and we're in the dead period. And the note that Zach Rosenblatt highlighted was that this is going to be a legitimate competition between Joe Tippmann and Josh Myers. Now, the fans' perspective has eye-rolled at all of this. Like, come on, get out of here. There's no way. Joe Tippmann's clearly the starter. Stop this nonsense. But we've heard it over and over from you people I'll say that as you Jets beat reporters that have literally been seeing everything at all of these practices. So is this real? Do Jet fans need a reality check here? We need to embrace the fact that this is a real thing. Is this not a real thing? What's going on? Because a lot of us are confused.
I think a lot of us are confused as well because you kind of look at the numbers. Joe Tippmann entering his third year. Josh Myers was brought in. He's counting right now $3 million against the salary cap. That's not a lot of money. That's backup offensive line money.
Yes.
And the fact that the Jets, and Aaron Glenn even kind of said it during league meetings back a couple months ago, the fact that the coaching staff is willing to have a competition with a player who was a top 10 player at his position. Joe Tippmann, 9th per Pro Football Focus last year. Overall, really, really good run blocking. Also solid pass blocking, but had a really good second season with the Jets last season. The fact that he's in a competition with someone who was average at best with the Green Bay Packers. Yes, he started a lot of games, but wasn't really good in those starts. It was kind of just serviceable. The fact that they're willing to have a competition at this position is stunning, in my opinion. It really is surprising because when you have homegrown talent that is good, the thought is you keep that talent ready to go. I would argue Joe Tippmann has shown more than Olu Fashanu at this point in their careers. Of course he would. Fashanu's only played in 5 games, but he's not competing for a starting job. Justin Fields has struggled throughout his NFL career. He's not competing for a starting job. We can say, well, everyone's competing and it's this and it's that. Let's be honest here. Justin Fields was brought in to be the starting quarterback. That's why they're paying him $20 million a year. Fashanu was a first-round pick. He's not going to be competing for a starting job. Joe Tippmann's a second-rounder too. You don't want to waste second-round picks. The fact that we're sitting here and even contemplating the idea that Joe Tippmann may be starting on the bench this season if he loses this battle to Josh Myers is staggering to me because he was really good last year. And it's not like the Jets' offensive line was bad in general, in totality. They actually saw major improvements once Fashanu got into the starting lineup. So the way that I look at this right now, do I think Tippmann will be the starter week 1? Yes. I think eventually he is just going to control this position battle and move forward without any issues. But the mere fact that this is happening is shocking, at least to me, because when you have good young players, as Aaron Glenn said, you want to put them in a position to succeed. If you're willing to throw away a young player who clearly has potential for a guy making $3 million and won't even be on the roster next season, you are, I would say, creating a need at a position you didn't really need to worry about this time last year.
That's true. Nick, every time, at the beginning of a show, I bring you on, I read all your accolades, which are wonderful. Then about halfway through, I'm like, hey, by the way, this is still Nick Faria from earlier in the show. But one of the accolades I don't say, but it's unspoken, but I don't say it is, Nick Faria, you are a professor,
Yes.
you're a teacher, yes?
Yes.
And did any part of your training get you into any kind of therapy, like of you giving therapy to other people? Is that at all part of it? Because we have a fan in here, Prestige Shogun, who says, Boy Green, I graduated high school last Tuesday, which would mean I started pre-K and finished high school before I saw a Jets playoff game. Nick, any advice or insights for Prestige Shogun, who's been a part of this digital journey for me for a long time, and things have remained the same?
Yikes. Absolutely yikes. Oh, good God. First off,
sure,
he started pre-K, finished high school before he saw a Jets playoff game.
Yeah.
I'm stunned by, you look at the era and the playoff drought and the fact that kids are born. Connor Long has never seen a Jets playoff game. That's insane to me. That's absolutely insane to me.
Yes.
Listen, I'm not an old guy. I'm only 28 years old. I understand that's old to some people. It boggles the mind that kids these days actually, like, they'll have assignments. And I actually heard about this once from a friend of mine. His child came home asking about what their thoughts were when 9/11 happened. Like, you know how you talk to older people and say,
Yes.
you know, what were you doing? What was going on? What were your thoughts? Kind of that reminiscing of those moments. And the fact that I remember I was 4 years old and I actually vividly remember watching it on the television. The fact that kids now are like, yeah, I wasn't born for it. I wasn't around for it. It almost boggles the mind at how much time has gone by. Like, I thought 2004 was just last year, and we're in 2025. That was 20 years ago. That's insane.
I will just say, as someone in my radio career, at least for the immediate future, outside of what I do for the Syracuse Mets at the radio station, it came to an end on Friday, but we had interns, like multiple sets of interns all throughout the year. And For Lily says, welcome to prestige to long-term suffering. That's what it's called. So thank you for your official diagnosis, doctor. But we had interns come in, right? And we've had them come in for the last, over my 10 years, I've probably worked with probably 100 plus interns. And the years that they've come up, they'd say like, oh yeah, Paul, I was born in 2005. And I'm like, what in the world?
Good.
I have memories before 2005. What do you mean? So, right, the September 11th thing, the years of like where these kids are born, and sometimes they accelerate through school. So sometimes we've gotten like what would the math be, that like 2006 kids in before, and I'm just like, oh God, I remember the Jets 2006 draft class. Good Lord, I'm old. So that's really what it means.
Yeah, it's just existential crisis after existential crisis. That's all it tells me.
Okay, we'll continue with Nick Faria here, but let's do this. We'll take a half time out. We'll welcome in your phone calls next on existential crisis and more here on the program.
Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily. Talking Jets football, man. Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily. New York Jets Football Club. Offense, defense, special teams, watch Jets football with Boy Green. J-E-T-S, Jets. Let's go!
Before we get to the phone lines, I had just come across this Nick Faria. You got yourself an autographed Super Bowl helmet. Jake Asman, give us the backstory on this, Nick Faria. Whoa, mama.
Yeah, I got to be honest. It's pretty crazy. So, you know, Jake, as always, the helpful person on the planet here, just responds. He's like, hey, I've got a gift for you coming in the mail. Now, I've had some of Jake's gifts. Sometimes it's a T-shirt. Other times he teases an underwear giveaway. You never know what you're getting. And I was on vacation this past week. My wife and I went to the Florida Keys for the week to celebrate our 2-year anniversary.
Congratulations. Yeah.
Thank you. And I come home, what was it, like midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning on Saturday to see the package. I'm opening it up thinking, okay, what did this guy get me? Boom, Super Bowl 59, AJ Brown signed. Jake takes care of his own. Let's just put it that way. Very appreciative of the guy.
Wow, look at this. So where did you immediately plug this into, Nick? You have a mantle, part of your man cave? Where'd it go?
So I'm only in an apartment. I don't got enough room for a man cave. But
fair enough.
It's right next to my signed Brian Dawkins miniature helmet.
Oh, nice.
It's a new addition. Once, down the road, get a house and everything. We'll have a man cave where all the different trinkets and everything will be able to be displayed. But for right now, it's going to have to go right in front of this shelf right in front of my front door.
Okay. By the way, so I'm just stalking your Twitter as any normal person does here, and I see that part of the vacation included your wife wanted to jet ski. You do not know how to jet ski, and you say, "quote It went as you imagine." Give us the play-by-play.
It was awful. It was absolutely awful. Let me just paraphrase here. We had a lovely trip. Absolutely great trip. Okay. Three Waters Resort does a great job. We went on a boat ride, went down to the marina. The food was excellent. Everything about it was great. My wife, in her infinite wisdom, wanted to do 3 things on this trip. She wanted to not think. It's been a stressful time for her. She wanted to swim with some dolphins. and she wanted to learn how to jet ski. Well, she swam with dolphins. A great experience there. She got
nice.
relaxed by the pool and by the water and everything. And then she goes over and says, I want to jet ski. Now, my thought is, okay, I'll go with you. It's an instruction. I'm sure she's booking an instructional jet ski lesson to learn how to do it. Nope. Full-fledged open water she's riding through. We're going super slow because it's the first time she's ever been on a jet ski, but the instructor was with a few other people that have jet skied before. And she's like, you guys need to go faster. This is a tour, a guided tour. You need to match our speed. And my poor wife, who, mind you, has me Yoda-ing her back, just hanging on for dear life. And it's just like, I can't go any faster. I don't know what I'm doing. You need to slow down. Wouldn't do it. So quite frankly, it was the first and last time I will ever be on a jet ski. I'm not really good on water. I don't really do well on boats. It's the motion sickness for me. But on a jet ski, I thought I was going to die multiple times, and it was like that for 2 hours. I must have had like 50 seconds. I was coming off shaking, and my wife, who, again, first time she's ever done this, was freaked out in her own right, comes up to me and goes, so how angry are you at me? And I was like, we're not going to talk about this. I just want to get up to the room, curl up in a ball, and just lay there in bed. So would not recommend, absolutely refuse to do that ever again. I prefer to stick on dry land for the rest of my life. Thank you.
All right, fair enough. But one more on the vacation, because I came across these. I'm going to be honest, Nick, I don't think I've ever seen this in my life before. But
Show them.
Yeah, lobster slides.
Oh.
It appears we have slides for you, older folk. Flip-flops here. And lobsters clinging onto your feet as you have them on here. Wow. What the hell is going on here, Nick Faria?
Yeah, so this was a white elephant gift a couple of years back. Okay. Now, I've learned through my travels that I am the best at white elephant because I understand, because we have a rule in our friend group, you can only steal an object 3 times. Some people it's 2, sometimes it's just unlimited steals, whatever it is. We do 3 times.
Right.
When I have a gift, I jump on it, and it is strategically placed in a way where no one can steal it back from me. The lobster slides were a coveted gift that was battled out moving forward, like throughout the entire day. And I was the last one, and I said, I want those things in my possession forever. My wife despises them. She is looking to get those removed as quickly as possible. My in-laws have bought me another pair of normal slides, so I don't wear these again, but I refuse to wear these when these things exist. My friend group is split. No one really likes to see me happy with the lobster slides. Some people are like, this is the greatest thing ever. But I will say, while we were at the resort, 6 people, including a family of 4, came up and said, where did you get those? These are awesome. I really want those for my house. A family that we were with by the pool came up to me and said, we really want these. Where can we get them? I said, probably Amazon. They bought them 20 minutes later.
Wow. When anything like that has happened, where I've had people come up and compliment something my fiance hates, she says, did you pay them like off to the side and then we sat here and then they came around and then did it? So I normally get accused of that sort of tomfoolery when it happens. So 6 people, and look at these puppies. Wow. Okay.
Nice. It was great. There's a photo on my Instagram. There's also, if you go down the Florida Keys, down to Key Largo, there's a gigantic lobster in one of the shops. I forgot the shop name. So naturally, I have a picture of myself with my lobster slides on in front of my lobster. Now, again, this is the kind of tomfoolery. I don't drink. I'm not really all that big into, getting drunk in the middle of a beach. But to me, it's one of those things where if having that moment of just, I have something that is coveted around the world. And my wife may not like it. My in-laws may not like it, but it's important to me. That means all the things in the world.
Yeah, I see here. Let me see if there's a. Well, you guys won't get a great look at it, but we obviously have to show it now. Jumping over to the gram, and then we're going to jump into the phone lines. Here you go. Booyah! There it is. There is Nick Faria. Lobster on lobster action here. Absolutely beautiful. Make sure you guys check out the gram for all the latest. N Faria 1720. Wow, Nick. I'm glad that we went down this road. I feel much better for it. Now, let's
Sometimes
see.
you just need that little
Yeah.
positive spin to things. You go on vacation, and there's the other thing. You go on vacation, and you feel so refreshed. I start a new job, this week.
Right.
It's going to be pretty exciting. I've got an announcement coming out later.
Ooh, congratulations. Great.
It could affect Jets coverage. We'll wait to see on that.
Oh.
But little tease here and there. But it's one of those things where you get a vacation right before you start a new job. That is exactly what you look for, because then you come back refreshed, you come back rejuvenated and ready to go.
Oh, wow. That's exciting. I can't wait for that update. You said, when is that update coming officially, or is there not a date for it?
No, not a date yet. It'll depend on when I can get the announcement out.
Okay. Oh, I understand what you're saying. I've been in a few of those kind of jobs. So excellent. All right. We're looking forward to it. All right. Let's jump into the phone lines. Who knows where this could go next? We've got Hep and a musical instrument. Hep?
Welcome to Hep's Dark Side. The Jets will not go to the Super Bowl this season. AG needs time to marinate. See you later.
There he is. Oh, geez. Oh, God. Okay, that was Dark Side Hep, I guess, saying we're not going to the Super Bowl this year. Wow.
I agree, Hep.
Wow. I'm not really sure how you segue from that to anything else, but that voice was that's going to give me nightmares tonight. I will hug my fiance for dear life. All right, well let's go next year on the channel. We got Indy Jets.
Yeah. How do I follow that?
Well, your guess is as good as mine. Indy Jets. Good to see you on the show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, Nick. Hey, good morning, Nick. BG. Nick, what is your number that you think Fields will in passing attempts for the year? Just give me a number.
God, it's going to be difficult. I don't know about full passing attempts. I think per game you're probably going to average around 20 to 25.
There's a reason I ask that, but if you think he's going to be at 350, 400, 450, or 500, just pick one of them.
I'm not a math guy. Multiplied 22 times 17. That would be my thing.
Calculator. Okay, let me
hold on. Get the calculator going.
370 something.
Okay. What are we doing? 22.
Come on, BG. It's too early in the morning for math.
The one. 374. 374.
Okay, yeah,
Final answer. 374. Lock it in.
Yeah. Okay. And so you're at that 350 to 400, and so now take the 150 that Garrett's going to get, and take the 100 that the running back room's going to get, and what does that leave you? Even if he says, let's say he has a couple of good games and his passing attempts 400 for the year, you take that 250 out that the running back room's going to get and Garrett Wilson's going to get. That leaves you 150 attempts for tight ends and our wide receivers, our other wide receivers. The tight end the tight ends will probably take the tight end room will probably take 75 of those, right? Okay, you think more? You think the tight ends will take 100?
I think 100 is a safe bet. Okay,
so that leaves 50 attempts for this wide receiver 2 that we're so damn worried about.
Yeah, I don't think that's enough for DJ Moore. We need to get more.
Exactly. That was the point I was trying to make. Is that there's not. We don't expect if Fields is throwing 500 times, we're in trouble. There's nobody in the world that doesn't believe that if he has to throw 500.
Yeah, his previous career high is 370. That happened in 2023, and that was only in 13 games. But 370 is his career high in passing attempts for a single season.
And so, out of those 50 attempts. You're telling me that Smith, Reynolds, Lazard, that we're going to divide those. We're going to divide that 50 attempts by 3. So even if you bring DJ Moore in, does that help? The numbers just aren't there because of Fields and because of the offense that we're going to run to even justify bringing a DJ Moore in. I just don't see it. When you break the numbers down, I just don't see there's no justification.
Andy, can you break the numbers down again? I don't like that answer. Break down the numbers again. I want it to be more favoring what I said.
I'll do it for you.
Yes.
I'll do it for you. Ready? So you got 300,
okay, great.
You got 370 attempts. Let's say safe bet 370. That's his career, right? 70?
Yes, yep. 370, correct.
About 150 will go to Garrett Wilson.
Correct.
Yep.
All right, and let's say about 100 to the tight ends because he does target the tight end position very, very well.
Okay, 250. Okay. Yep.
So that's 120 for running backs and the receiving core. Let's say, because Breece Hall does get targeted a lot in the running game, that he gets 60. Let's say 60 targets in the passing game. That leaves
60 targets. Okay.
Additional targets for the wide receiver 2, 3, and 4. If you were to split that up per player, that means Allen Lazard, Arian Smith, Reynolds.
Yeah.
And let's say Reynolds, those three, will get 20 targets this season.
Yeah.
Now, give or take, obviously some games will be a little bit different than others and everything.
We're just talking averages here.
Yeah, but
sure.
In the large run, it is far more likely that Breece Hall in the running back room will receive 60 targets than the receiver room will get 100 outside of Garrett Wilson. Just look at the math. Look at the math.
I don't want to.
I agree. And that's why I said I am putting so little weight on this. Who's our wide receiver 2? Because the options it doesn't bring in T. Higgins. Does that help you any?
Let's also
if the targets aren't there.
Let's say the tight end position. Doesn't get 100 targets. Let's say 60. I think is
possible.
Let's say
sure.
That is 160. Let's say running backs get another 60. So that's 100 targets for the wide receiver 2, 3, and 4. If you divide those up for the rest of the receiver room, that's 33 targets per player.
Right,
now,
and that's you still got Gibson that might get 10 or 15.
There's just no math here. There's
in the XFL maybe.
And I'm just saying there's going to be that wide receiver 4 or 5 that might get 8 or 10 targets for the year. So you're gonna that number's going to go down. Worrying about this number 2 wide receiver that Justin Fields doesn't use. So far. So we want to turn him into a passing quarterback. We want to turn him into that 450, 500 attempt Joe Burrow type quarterback.
Language. Hell yeah, baby. Boom. Same picture. Spider-Man meme. Joe Burrow, Justin Fields. Hey, how'd you get here? That's it. Boom.
Nick, I think BG needs drug tested.
Well, thankfully, those are not required before every Boy Green Daily episode.
But that's what I think. Nick, I just don't see the targets there, no matter who it is.
Seriously, like we just broke it all down. We broke it all down on even if you're being fair and you put his a targeting average of 370 attempts, Garrett Wilson's going to get the majority of them. He's going to get over a third.
Of course.
More than
he should. Yeah.
Should. Absolutely he should. And then you say, well, where's the rest of the offense coming from? Well, you've got a good trio of running backs. You've got a solid tight end now in Mason Taylor. If Mason Taylor gets 60 targets, which I think is very, very fair for a first-year tight end, you look at
I agree. I'm with you.
Targets perfect. He's not going to catch all of them, but I'm saying just in terms of overall.
No, I understand. Targets, you're right. Football thrown in his general vicinity. I understand.
He could get 40 catches. 40 catches is not a lot, but it's really good for a rookie tight end. All of a sudden, you're looking at a path where this receiver room is not going to be targeted a lot. And people will say, well, that's not good. That's not the modern offense. That's what the Jets need to do to be successful.
Right.
It's not spread the ball out and throw the ball downfield. It's running the football effectively, averaging 4 or 5 yards a carry, and using the passing game as a sort of bow on top to put everything all together. People talk about this all the time. They get upset when I make this comparison, but it's essentially you are the 2021 Philadelphia Eagles. They didn't throw the ball well. They were very, very bad throwing the ball. Every target went to either Devontae Smith or Dallas Goedert. Everything else was from the running game. And they won. They won more than many expected. That has to be the blueprint for the Jets if they are going to be successful this year.
Hey, Nick, real quick. What year did you compare the Jets to? Which version of the Eagles? What year was that?
2021.
Did they win the Super Bowl that year?
Nope, but they went 9-8.
Okay, can you compare us to like the 2017 ones or the 2024 ones? I prefer those outcomes.
You don't have a quarterback.
Hey, Nick. Didn't Jalen have a really down year that in 2024?
No, well, not this year. Last year, and again, people will talk about it. It's not that he had a down year. It was that they were throwing the ball more, so there were more chances for struggles. And also, the defense was terrible. The defense was absolutely terrible. But
no, I'm talking about in 2024. They won the Super Bowl.
This past season, you're saying, yes.
Yeah. They won the Super Bowl. Jalen Hurts did not have a great passing year because they ran the ball.
Very good. We're talking about two different quarterbacks here. Hurts from the pocket is light years better than Justin Fields right now.
I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just saying they took Hurts didn't have to throw the ball. If you look at the Devontae Smith and and AJ Brown, they didn't have great seasons.
Yep.
If Justin can have a season like this was Jalen Hurts just as a passer. He completed 69% of his passes, threw 2,900 yards, and had 18 touchdowns to 5 picks. Sign me up for that season.
Add the rushing touchdowns.
No, that's what I'm saying. I'm just saying, just as the passing,
right?
He was putting in the pocket, right, of separating that. Sign me up for that. And then to your point, Nick, add in the rushing touchdowns, which had double-digit rushing touchdowns like every year of his career, for God's sakes. That's awesome.
But Saquon took a lot of that pressure off of Hurts. He didn't have to make these plays. Now, is that not what we expect Brees to do for Fields?
Let's also remember, and this is where I lose my mind with some of these discussions. If your team is averaging 6 yards a carry, do you want to see your organization throw the football? Of course
Absolutely not.
Of course not. If you're averaging 6 yards a carry, run right, run left, and do that down the field until you score a touchdown. Every play.
Good plan. It's a good plan.
Stopped, you run the football.
Now, do you not see that as maybe we don't average 6, but the plan is to run the ball that much, correct?
Absolutely.
Right. So, which that's what I'm saying. The targets for a wide receiver 2 is just not there because that blueprint that the Eagles just won: run the ball, and Fields. I don't even know what Hurts had, 375 attempts last year or something like that.
Yeah, it wasn't a lot.
Right, which is right where we were. Right where we were just talking about with Fields.
361.
Okay, 361. And so. I'm not saying we are the 2024 Eagles.
Correct. To Nick's point,
but it's the same plan. It's the same plan. We're going to rely on the run, not put the pressure on the quarterback. He's going to make it. Now, all it takes is Fields to make the throws that he needs to, like Fields can do, or like he did. I don't know if Fields can do that. But they put him in the same position that the 2024 Eagles were in last year with Hurts. They just asked Hurts to make the throws that he needed to, and we're going to run the ball. That's exactly what we're asking of Fields. Yes. Make the throws that we need you to, and we're going to run the ball.
Yes, but there's a level of trust that Philadelphia has in Hurts for 2024 that they didn't have in, say, 2021. And that's why I make that comparison specifically, because the offensive line, very similar to the Jets, had questions. They had a new guard. They had a new tackle. There were questions along the offensive line. You had a quarterback, very deficient as a passer. You had a good number 1 receiver, a really good tight end, and a collection of running backs that you could trust, and a defense that, if coached well, could be really, really solid. That is essentially what the Jets are this year. The coaching staff steps up. The offensive line solves the questions that are surrounding them. You are looking at a Jets team that will be a lot better than many expect.
Again, we're speaking with our NFL reporter, Nick Faria, here on the show. We got 500 people in the room. Like the video, hit subscribe. Some fascinating conversations so far. All right, let's go up next. We got Scotty Mayhem. What's up, Scotty?
Mile marker 51, that has a left lane block at traffic continuing to build in the area.
We no longer have Scotty. Next, Easy.
Hey, is Nick there? Hey, Nick.
Yeah, Nick's here. Yeah.
Hey, listen, a lot of us are saying how Justin doesn't process that fast and he never goes for the second receiver and he'll just like check it down or run. But he's been doing something this year that a couple of guys tried last year and last couple of years, and it has really improved their processing and their performances on the field. And that's with that virtual reality camera that he's got in his helmet. They can actually adjust that thing to go 1.5 speed, 2 times speed, 2.5 times speed. And if he starts practicing with that, that might mentally be able to improve his reaction times when he gets on the field, because he will get so used to the faster speed when he's actually on the field, it'll actually slow it down for him. I don't know, but I think didn't Darnold use that, and the kid on
Washington, Jaden Daniels.
Washington had that, yeah. And
quick
look what it did
follow-up
for
on
them.
that. To Nick here. So yes, they've been using the GoPro cameras on their head, and they're able to review that footage.
That's it, the GoPro, yeah.
But also, because I've heard of other quarterbacks using this, I haven't heard that Justin Fields used this. Has he been using the virtual reality too, where they put the thing on the head and he's in the back, and then they're going through the mental reps of that thing too?
Isn't that part of the GoPro?
No. Yeah, GoPro is different, but go ahead, Nick.
Yeah, not to my knowledge. I think it's just the GoPro for now.
Okay.
Well, could be different though. They may very well be using it. We just don't know. They haven't really spoken.
Okay. Yeah,
well, the GoPro records it, but
correct.
Doesn't it play it back on like a view screen, like a helmet view screen? So that
no. What I believe is
so
it's just
not
a camera.
Virtual reality. It's just him actually watching what he did on the field. Only they speed it up.
And more importantly, it's the coaches watching it, right? So they're seeing, did Justin Fields go through this progression, and seeing how the ball came out and all things of that nature. Yeah, that's more so what it's about. So, no, I just wanted to double check, because other quarterbacks have used the actual virtual reality. So I'm kind of curious if they have. It doesn't sound like they have, but we'll see. Maybe that's a question for camp.
I thought I just called the GoPro the VR.
No, that's okay.
Because it's recording it, and then they're able to watch it in real time. I mean, not in real time. When they get back into their film room, they can get to watch that, and they can speed it up, and they could it increases their acuity to what's going on the field. And I think all these things combined will help.
Yeah. It is fascinating. I actually reached out to the GoPro company because I was curious. They're obviously not going to give me footage from the Jets. That's not what I'm asking. But how, like an example of just their people in their building, like them strapping it to the head, because I'm curious about the process. So I reached out to the company because I'd love to write a full story on these GoPro cameras. The technology is fascinating, how teams are using it. The Jets are not the only team.
Right.
I heard Cameron Wolf of the NFL Network says the Lions and Falcons are both teams that utilize this technology. So I am very curious about the process, though. So yeah, it makes all the sense in the world.
I just think it's good. It's a fantastic tool for helping a guy that's got all the physical attributes, but is still not quite there with the. And I'm not, when I say mental, I'm not calling these guys stupid. It's just some people like Brady. He could see out of the corner of his eye the whole field. I mean, that guy was just brilliant. Peyton Manning, he had that gift. Certain guys just have it where it clicks right away. Other people have to train their brain. I think this is a great tool for training the brain. I think Geno used it too, didn't he?
Maybe. I'm not sure.
But also Geno had 7 years NFL experience under his belt too before he finally figured it out. And when he was with the Jets, he did show flashes of brilliance. I mean, his last game before he got punched in the jaw was the final game of the season before, and he had a perfect passer rating from what I recall. So
158.3. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, he was. So Geno always had it in him. But I think Justin Fields, with the physical talent that he has and the team that he's got put around him now with the O-line and the running back
Sorry, Z, we're losing you on technology there, but appreciate the comment. I'll flip that over to Nick. Just from a confidence level standpoint, you've seen Justin Fields throughout this entire offseason, Nick. Obviously, training camp is going to be a different beast, certainly, and then the season will be the ultimate proof. But what's your confidence level that the Jets have something here? Because obviously they believe it. The way that AG talks, the way that Muji talks, the way that the players are talking, it's almost like they're talking with a smile on their face, and they feel like they know something that the rest of us don't. And that to me is sort of interesting. Now, it may just be Fugazi confidence, or maybe there is something here.
From a 1 to 10 standpoint, I'd probably give it a 5.5, 6.
Okay. Of you.
For me specifically.
Yes, right. Okay.
Look, I really want to like he's such a nice kid, and you really want to see him succeed. But I can't ignore what I've seen in Chicago and in Pittsburgh. And if I take over what I saw there into what I've seen throughout off-season workouts, it looks like the same guy. It really looks like the same guy. So maybe things change in training camp once he gets established as a teammate, established in the offense. Maybe it changes. Maybe that processing quickens and speeds up entirely. I just don't see it right now. And until that process happens, I can't give it anything more than they really want him to be the guy. They really want him to be the long-term future. If he can, it's going to be really good, but it's still a gigantic what if.
All right, Nick, let me ask you this before we get you out of here. Obviously, later this week is July 4th. So what do you and your Lobster slides have in store for the rest of us? Obviously, we're going to be staying tuned on Instagram because we need to see every chapter of this story moving forward. But what are the July 4th plans for the Faria clan?
I believe we're going to a friend's house.
Nice.
For a nice little barbecue and everything else. I also have to figure out this new job and everything. I don't know if I'm working that day as well, so it might be a little bit.
Oh, wow. Okay.
But we shall see. And then for the weekend, just spending it with my in-laws. So it's going to be a nice, relaxing time. I'm always a big fan of that, and very excited.
All right, beautiful. Well, thanks everybody for tuning in to an episode of Boy Green Daily. Again, I will be live, and shout out to Nick. He was one of our initial guests on this new venture, the Man Shout Show with Boy Green Digital, my radio show going full digital. We do our first live show of the new era coming up live today at 11 o'clock. So, Nick, I want to give you a big special shout out. Thank you for helping us launch that over the last couple of weeks. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Of course.
And good luck at this new venture. I can't wait to hear what it is, buddy. And we'll be checking in with you every Monday here on Lobster Updates. So make sure you have plenty of them.
Definitely. Sounds good. Thanks, guys.
There he is, Nick Faria, Jets or NFL reporter, extraordinaire, about to find out where he lands next. Everybody, thank you so much for tuning in. Shout out to the 500 plus people in the room across all of our social media platforms. If you do watch on YouTube, like the video, hit subscribe. If you don't watch on YouTube, I highly recommend making the jump over because the ultimate viewing experience, is on YouTube. That's where you can make sure you never miss a video. You hit a bell notification and every video will go to you. Again, we're going to take a little bit of a break ski here. At 11 o'clock, I'll be live with my radio partner, Jim the Man-Child Lurch. We'll be streaming live on his and our brand new YouTube channel, MZ Show Digital, my YouTube channel right here, and our Facebook page, the Man-Child Show Boy Green Digital. Will be live at 11 o'clock. I welcome all your interactions, and hopefully you guys can join us for that. And we'll be back live on Wednesday as well with the Man-Child Show Boy Green Digital. Plus, we're going to have content every single day in a variety of fashions. I hope you guys can all stay tuned in for that. If you guys are just joining us, you guys could check out the full article on this conversation down below. I did try to make a compelling case for DJ Moore, but mostly everyone shut it down. But for those that believed, we love it. Thank you. And thank you, Foxy, the Man-Child Show Boy Green Digital, baby. Make sure you guys check it out. We'll be live coming up at 11 o'clock. Thanks, everybody. Taylor Sterling, Jets Worldwide, Wide, Stephen Fox, and everybody else in the chat. We appreciate you. Take care. We'll see you in a little.